Welcome. This is the wisdom of the Avadhut Gita. Ramana Maharshi was widely regarded to exemplify its teachings. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Know yourself. This is Richard Clarke. Today I'll read from and comment on Chapter 3 of the Avadhut Gita, verses 11 and 12, on the profound nature of the self, and I'll provide an inquiry for each verse to deepen your experience. Verse 11, Atman is not the knower, nor the known. It is not accessible to inference. Words cannot describe this consciousness absolute. The mind is lost in its majesty. How can it be explained to you? Space-like, immortality-giving knowledge am I. Verse 12, there is no separation and no unity in it. Neither is it inner nor outer. It is truth transcendental. It cannot be said it was all before. Verily, nothing exists but Atman, and that space-like, immortality-giving knowledge am I. Let's explore these verses from the Avadhut Gita in the context of Ramana Maharshi's teachings. Verse 11, Atman is not the knower nor the known. It is not accessible to inference. Words cannot describe this consciousness absolute. The mind is lost in its majesty. How can it be explained to you? Space-like, immortality-giving knowledge am I. Here's an explanation in the context of Ramana Maharshi. Beyond knower and known. Ramana Maharshi taught that the true self, the Atman, is the source of both the knower and the known. Through self-inquiry, he guides you to turn your attention inward and question the nature of the I that knows and the objects known. By doing so, you can realize the self as distinct from both. This self is with the knower and not the known. Inaccessible to inference, Ramana explained and emphasized direct experiential knowledge of the self over intellectual analysis. Self-inquiry, the core of his teachings, involves seeking the source of the I-thought within, leading to a direct self-knowledge and realization of the self that transcends mental inference or deduction. The self is not a thought, nor a collection of thoughts. It is the untouched knower of all thoughts. Ineffable nature. Ineffable means that it cannot be described with words. Words and concepts are limited tools for describing the consciousness absolute. And according to Ramana, if you try to use something limited, words and concepts, to describe something without limits, your very being, then you will fail. He encourages you to go deeper, beyond words and thoughts, through self-inquiry, diving into the pure awareness that is the self, knowing the self by being the self. the mind gets absorbed. The mind's absorption in the self signifies self-realization. You have not added anything, just removed the source of the sense of separateness, the mind. Self-inquiry. Who is the knower when I perceive something, anything? Verse 12, there is no separation and no unity in it. Neither is it inner nor outer. It is truth transcendental. It cannot be said it was all before. Verily, nothing exists but Atman, and that space-like immortality-giving knowledge am I. Explanation in the context of Ramana. Beyond separation and unity. Ramana's teachings emphasize the non-dual nature of the self. In non-duality, there is no separation between the self and the world. They are ultimately one. This self transcends all concepts and ideas of unity or separation. Through self-inquiry, you can directly experience this profound oneness as yourself. Neither inner nor outer. The self, according to Ramana, is not limited to any particular location, whether inner or outer. The self is all-pervading and immanent in everything. Self-inquiry leads to the recognition that the self is not in space. It cannot be confined to any place, any set of spatial or conceptual boundaries. Truth transcendental. The self represents the ultimate truth, transcending all relative truths and dualities. Ramana taught that realizing the self is the highest realization you can attain, with self-knowledge leading to the direct knowledge of the absolute truth. Self-inquiry. How does my view of inner and outer change when inquiring into the nature of the self? Both verses from the Avadhut Gita emphasize the transcendental and ineffable nature of the self. This is found in Ramana Maharshi's teachings on self-inquiry and self-realization. The verses underscore the importance of direct experiential knowledge over intellectual understanding. They say that the ultimate truth lies within every individual, within you. These verses convey the profound nature of the self, emphasizing its ineffability, transcendence of dualities, and status as the ultimate truth. Ramana Maharshi's teachings on self-inquiry provide a practical path to directly realize these truths within yourself. So inquire, know yourself, and be always free and at peace. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this Ramana Maharshi video, subscribe, like, and send me a comment.